Hi there guys, how's it going? So we just did a stream where we took down all 13 stages of the Axel Plus event. It was really fun. Thank you to everyone that turned up. It was a different crowd than usual because I streamed at a different time to usual. Therefore it was really fun getting to meet the new people and I just had an awesome time. So thank you to everyone that turned up. Together we came up with a really good strategy to take care of all the stages of the Axel Plus event. Definitely relying on these two medals right here. I think they're the absolute keys to an event like this if you can't damage your way through. You basically have two options if you want to get through all 13 stages. By the 12th and the 13th round, you're either going to want to turtle your way through or just do an insane amount of damage and try and get him before you run out of second chance and run out of the pet version of second chance, essentially. The 13th stage, I think, had something like 24,000 bars of HP, which is an absolute ton. If you want to get through it without using any turtling setups, the people that I've seen use so far, you need to get rid of obviously at least 8,000 bars per turn, which is a hell of a quota. Although people have done it in one, insane fiends with extra attack and negative ground and all that stuff. You have to keep a real eye on the counter over his head. I'll probably play some footage over the top of this where I was going through it, but he has a red and a blue counter over his head, which just like last time means that if you do too many attacks, or you do too many attacks that like have too many hits, you're going to trip that counter, he's going to retaliate, and you're just going to waste your second chances basically. It's a very strong opponent, but you can tank one of his hits, so it's the same way as, was it Vexen forever ago? A lot of the enemies do this, where they have two different attacks they can use. They can either do, well, in Axel's case, he has a weaker attack that does lots and lots of hits. It does like hit, and then one big hit where he like slams his chakrams into the ground and fire comes up underneath. You can actually tank that one, well, by which I mean, if you have enough defense, you've debuffed the opponent enough, and you have a defense boost 4 max skill, you can actually live that with a tiny amount of HP left. So to do that, you require, well, at least what I've seen, you need to have casted Violet at least twice, and casted Mrs. Incredible at least once. So Mrs. Incredible is great. She will debuff the ever-loving hell out of him. -7 tiers of general attack, and -2, well, PSM strength, but just the power is relevant. And then, of course, Violet will give you, well, plus PSM to your defense again, and your general defense, even though the only relevant one is the power-based. So yeah, what I ended up doing was, for the final run that I ended up winning with, we had Kyrie here literally just for second chance. In the past, I would have preferred to have second chance on this Kyrie right here, but I ended up having to make a few sacrifices. In any case, this Kyrie is here literally just for second chance. Of course, the big Kyrie plus out the front, being the supreme buffer that she is an amazing job. I'm a big fan of Fairy Stars, just because that's where I've invested a lot of my gems and what have you in, so it happens to be my strongest Keyblade. It also gelled really well with these two medals here, so the Violet and the Mrs. Incredible. It gels extremely well with those because you have beautiful Keyblade slots to use it with. That leaves you with slot 4 being a reverse power slot. If you use any power-based attacks on Axel, he will absorb all that damage as HP. You do not want to use that. That means you really only have, if you're going to use Fairy Stars, your only real option here is to use a copycat medal. In my case, I could either copy forward, copying Mrs. Incredible. The multipliers on both of these medals, because they're both 7 stars, are identical, therefore from that point of view there's no difference. However, Violet is a magic based enemy, therefore she gets an additional 33% damage, whereas Mrs. Incredible I think deals out 33% less, simply because of the attribute. In addition to that, Mrs. Incredible is like an overwrite buffer, in the sense, overwrite debuffer, in the sense that whenever you cast her, she takes the opponent's attack and goes, okay, sets that down to -7. Takes their PSM attack down to -7. So there's no point double casting that, well, casting that twice, simply because it won't do anything. It won't do anything different. Casting Violet again, though, has some benefits, because if you use Violet, she only gives you +3 defense regularly. So in my case, I ended up casting her very luckily, because I ended up getting extra attack on this medal. I ended up casting her 3 times. So the first time, you're at +3 general defense. The second time, +6 general defense. And the third time, with Riku, to +7 general defense to the max. In addition to that, you've also got the PSM defense, which gets its maximum of 7 by the second cast. So I decided to have a copycat medal going backwards to copy that. For the pet slot, here's where it becomes less free to play. I mean, obviously I did get this free to play, because, well, I'm a free to play player, but I do have a boosted copy of Genie, which is really nice. I got that forever ago, and it's been an absolute powerhouse for me, so the fact that I could get this to 7 stars meant it dealt a shite load of damage for me. That doesn't mean you have to use it though. I could recommend something like KHUx 17 in its place. Anything that does a really nice big hit. So the fact is that this is the only medal on my setup so far that actually decreases the counter. This adds 1 to it, this adds 1 to it, this adds 2 to it, this adds 2 to it because it's copying Violet, and this adds either 2 or 1 to it, I forget. In any case, all these things are adding to the counter, and therefore I've got 1 medal to draw from the counter, meant that I'm okay. And a lot of setups I was running before that was just draining the counter too fast, because he only has barely any counter over the top of him by the time you get to the end. So you definitely want to, I don't know, keep that in mind. I don't necessarily know that I needed this thing to do it. It definitely helped out a lot. But I think KHUx 17 would probably get you across the line as well. You'd have to do it some testing. And then finally for the friend medal, I ended up borrowing a Roxas Prime, which had negative ground and extra attack on it. And then I also ended up borrowing one with, I think, 5 strength plus 1,000 traits, which was just ridiculous. In the end though, the ground one actually ended up doing more damage. But the final setup that I got across the line with, I ended up using my Genie for the first time, which helps me out quite a lot. Anyway, we can do one quick run of it. I think my battery's about to die, but hopefully we can show you what's up. Yeah, it was a really fun stream, and hopefully you guys can check it out in the future as well if I ended up streaming some more. So I'm still trying to find some ways of doing it without Kari Plus, because I know a lot of people didn't end up pulling her. So far, all I've seen though, setups, all the ones I've seen so far that don't use her rely super heavily on this medal right here. The fact is, it doesn't give any more to the counter, and that just makes it so useful. It's a magic-based enemy that effectively acts as a single target medal. It's incredible. I'm going to go ahead and use this one though, because like I said, this one's got negative ground and extra attack, which is very nice. Let's go ahead and try and take this thing on before my battery dies. Alrighty. Oh god, it's not great. So you can see there that any power burst attacks you use on it will restore its HP. Nearly, well, 23,500 bars of HP is no laughing matter. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this without extra attack Violet, actually. Let's see if we can do it still. Which is a little bit annoying because I'm going to be burning up the counter, but whatever, hopefully we'll make it through. Using Riku to copy backwards, dealing a pretty decent amount of damage, and then onto Mrs. Incredible. So right now we are really defensively buffed up. Genie dealing hella damage, but I think you could swap that out for KHUx 17 and hopefully still get away with it. And then this nice, beautiful Roxas coming in to deal some very good damage as well. Okay, so that extra attack is definitely proving its worth there because it ends up dealing, yeah, tons and tons of damage. Alright, the retaliation. So, this hit we can live. Okay, so he has 2 phases that he can do. See how we just lived that? The next attack he does, we won't be able to trip it. We won't be able to live it, sorry. But you can see that animation there where he does multiple hits. It's like the Kingdom Hearts 2 animation where he's fighting you in like the Sandlot at the struggle arena where he does like the multiple hits and then sort of does a nice big slam on the ground. Really cool animation. But the point is we can live that one, but you can only live it under those certain conditions. You've defensively buffed yourself up heaps and you have defense boost 4 max. With an identical setup and defense boost 3 max, I just died, so there's your warning. I suppose with enough HP traits you could potentially pull it off, but you'd have to experiment yourself, unfortunately. I don't have the HP traits to test it. Okay, so he'll retaliate now, or after this attack, and we won't be able to live it. Again, I have seen setups to take this thing out in, believe it or not, 1 turn with just Roxas, Xion Plus at the front, and essentially copycat Roxas. It's just, wow, it just absolutely runs a Roxas train on Axel, which it sounded weird, but it's a sight to behold in any case. Whoops, okay, so that's using it once. Okay, I didn't mean to use it twice there, but the point is, I didn't use it twice on the first turn, and I still survived the hit, so you don't need to cast it 3 times. Twice is sufficient to be able to tank those hits. So again, he alternates tankable, not tankable, tankable, not tankable, tankable, not tankable. So if you have second chance, the pet HP restore, and then your own first life, you effectively have 3 chances to get back. So effectively, if you only need to be second chance back to life every few turns, then you effectively have 6 turns to take this guy out. So I ended up using all 6 on the run where I beat it. But again, you'll see here that we were able to tank it quite nicely. Sorry, I've been talking for 2 hours and now trying to record this video. I've definitely lost my voice, but we're absolutely on track to take this guy out quite handily here. So again, I really hope this has helped you guys out a little bit. I'm going to try and come up with as many strategies I can over the next few days to get you all through. I might even share, I'll ask for permission now, I might even share some strategies that other people have used, like really Roxas heavy strategies, because you guys might have pulled for Roxas. I mean, I personally didn't, but you guys might have, and maybe that'll help you out. So I'll ask around to get some permission at different setups, and see what we can do. I'm definitely trying to come up with a setup that involves, that doesn't involve Kari Plus. That's something I definitely want to find for you guys. Because I know a lot of you that didn't pull a, well, this is no good to you. Big damage right there. Okay, so we're on effectively turn 4 now. And we are well within our, well, we're on track to take the win in any case. Okay, I'm really impressed with this Violet medal, honestly. It impresses the heck out of me. Definitely the premier buffer in the game, right? Defensive buffer in the game right now. Okay, Genie coming in again. God, this Genie does so much damage. It's absolutely obscene. I was using a Copycat medal initially, a Copycat Shion to copy forward and get that Roxas buff, but I did find that it wasn't doing quite enough damage, so I ended up tagging it out for something else. I think we're only on turn 4 right now, though. He's gonna... No, he's not gonna kill us here. So we're gonna kill him by turn 5 out of a possible 6, so... Like, and early into this turn as well, which is really, really cool. So, hopefully you guys can mimic this as much as possible. Like, if you don't have Genie, but you have KHUx 17, that can mimic the same amount of damage, that'll be really helpful for you guys, and I think it should get you across the line. Let me know where you're stuck. If you're stuck on, like, number 8, 9, 10, wherever, definitely let me know. The Discord is the best place to be, as always. I'll leave the link in the description, as I always do. Until then, guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. Yeah, thank you to everyone that turned out in the stream yet again, and I'll see you later. All the best. Bye.